Sorry, I'm late. Ish, am I late? Yeah, sorry. Whoa. Let's go.
Sorry, I got one for myself.
Selfish one, eh?
Exactly.
So it is.
Right.
How are you? Okay. Good.
So we'll get started with you, and then obviously move on to all the rest of the broadcast questions, followed by the dailies briefing embargo till 10:30, and again, no social media posting during the broadcast part of the press conference. Thank you. Let's go.
Hi, Steve.
Kirsty.
Well, you as a club will get your chance to pay your respects to the late Queen tomorrow night. If I could just get your reflections of the last few days, and also, what that will mean for you as a club tomorrow night.
Yeah, obviously extremely sad. I think a lot's been said, hasn't it, over the last few days regarding the passing, and yeah, you agree with most of what's been said in terms of how sad it is in terms of the family and the mourning that's obviously going to take place. And but at the same time, there seems to be a bit of celebration in terms of who she was and what she stood for, and I think there's been a lot of nice reflection in how much impact she had on people and how many people she touched through her reign. So like most people have said, extremely sad, but at the same time a great time to reflect nicely on a lot of the good things that she did during her reign.
It's such to be an emotional night, isn't it? I mean, the silence and the anthem, also you've got the applause in the 70th minute.
Yeah, and I'm sure Nottingham Forest will pay their respects really respectfully and rightly so. We're a classy club and we'll want to show that. So.
Sorry, I'll just leave this one and go over it.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Do you want to ask again?
So it is set to be an emotional night, isn't it?
Yeah, and Nottingham Forest will want to show the right respects and in our game tomorrow night against Fulham, and we're a classy club, and we'll want to show a good self, good version of ourselves. But yeah, very sad for the country, and a lot of coming together.
Obviously, because of what's happened, we have seen matches cancelled. You yourselves had your match cancelled on Monday. What does that mean in terms of the time you've been getting now on the training pitch? Has that been a big help? Because you've got so many.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say that anything has been a help or an advantage in a sad situation, because that would be wrong. I think everyone, the Premier League made the decision to postpone the games, and we respect that decision. And then you have to adapt, in terms of the programme. Obviously, you quickly go from preparing for a game for us, which was Leeds, to then not playing for over a week and trying to get the right programme of work. So we tried to maximise the time for sure. Obviously, that it was on the back of a really disappointing week previous to it, which was, not a nice result that we had here against Bournemouth, and the way that unfolded. So it has given us a chance to come together a bit more. There's obviously a lot of new players here, and a lot has been said about us having to find a new way in terms of the team that we want to end up becoming. And while we're doing that, we've got to win enough games and pick up enough points while we're doing that. So we've tried to use the time wisely. There's nothing better than building a team and a style of play than time that's given to you. And we've been given time, and we've tried to use it wisely. But at the same time, we've still got a lot of games coming up, and obviously the international break after this. But we've got to work in a way that gets us ready for the next game, but at the same time really tries to bring all these players together to be the team that we end up wanting to be.
And that last result against Bournemouth, obviously real disappointment with the way the points were thrown away. What were the lessons?
Well, that was it. They were thrown away because we'd played so well in the first half, and it was self-inflicted. We have nobody to blame but ourselves, and I include myself in that, and the staff, of course. But no one said this Premier League was going to be easy, and that's proven so. even in the the first few games that we've played. So we're under no illusions that it is an extreme level that you're playing at, and you can get punished when you drop your levels and make mistakes, and that's what we did in that second half. And it was probably a little bit of maybe where the team is at in terms of some really good signs of the first half, and 2-0 lead and completely controlling the game and playing good football. And then obviously the opposite in the second half is the bits obviously where we got to grow and become a team. And I don't just mean how we play, but the togetherness, the spirit, the support for each other. So loads of good learnings. It was obviously disappointing, and like I said, that was self-inflicted. But you have to get on with it. You have to dust yourselves off. You have to continue to believe in what you do. And like I said, we're really looking forward now to the game in Fulham. Feels like an age since we last played, and we'll be ready for it.
Amongst all of that and the job you've got on your hands here, there has been speculation. You've been one of the names talked about with the position at Brighton at the moment. You're said to be very highly regarded by them there. How does that feel?
I haven't really thought about that. There's certainly no truth in it. Everyone knows, or everyone who knows me knows what working for Nottingham Forest means to me, and how important it is, especially after losing a couple of games. It matters even more to me. So that's the only thing in my mind is the job that I do on a day-to-day basis here, and that's consuming enough as it is. But I love my time here. I love working with the players. I love the staff. I love the city. So it's the only thing on my mind at the moment.
And on your mind, that game against Fulham, particularly going into an international break, is it really important that you try and turn the recent run of results around against them, and how difficult will that be against?
Well, it'll be difficult because it's the Premier League, and as I said, it's every game is difficult. It's use that word again. Nobody said it was going to be easy, and Fulham were excellent last year in the Championship and comfortably, won the league and deserved it as well. So they have that continuation, that momentum of what they did, and there's a lot to be said for that, as we know. And yeah, it's going to be tough. They obviously have, Mitrovic, who was brilliant last year, and has continued it into the Premier League this year. So we have to be mindful of all of these threats that they have. And but at the same time, we you're right. We've lost some games on the bounce, and that's never good. But we've also done some good things, and we personally think that if we'd managed certain situations better, the second half of Bournemouth is the obvious example, that we'd be on a lot more points than what we have now. So we have to take a lot of confidence from that, and a lot of reassurance that we are improving, we are getting better, and we have to believe that we'll continue to do that, and there's no better way than playing games. So at home, under the lights, Friday night football will be a brilliant atmosphere here again, and we've got to make the most of it.
And in terms of the positives amongst your squad and some of the performances we've seen, Dean Henderson, it's been sort of a positive season for him in many ways, getting the game time that he really wanted, and we now know he's included in Gareth Southgate's England squad as well, about to be announced. What do you think you've seen from him in his time here, and what makes him special? Well,
that's great for him, because I know how important it is for him to play for England in terms of his personal objectives. So I'm really pleased that he's given the opportunity to meet up again, and I think he deserves it. I think he's been excellent for us, and obviously we're lucky that we see him on a daily basis, and you guys only see him on a match day. But he's really committed to his work here and what we're trying to do at the club, and he's a hard worker, he's professional, he's obviously a really talented goalkeeper, but that only goes so far. If you're willing to work hard and have the mentality of wanting to improve, then that's when the talent can really show. So really pleased for him. He deserves the call up again, but he has to make sure he plays well tomorrow night, and that's where my message will be to him is keep striving to improve, keep striving to get better, be obsessed with keeping clean sheets and making saves and distributing the ball well, and if he does that, he'll continue to improve his already good form. But we love having Dean here. We really enjoy working with him, competitive soul that he is, and we've got to push him to improve even more.
And I think we'll need somebody to stop some penalties. He's showing he can be the man.
Yeah, no, obviously they've caught the eye, haven't they? His penalty saves, and let's. Well, I was going to say let's hope he has to make a few more, but let's not give him away. But but he's made some good saves this year, and it's, like I said, he just needs to make sure he plays well tomorrow against Fulham.
Just very quickly, finally from me, something that's got a lot of people talking. A suggestion from Todd Boehly, talking about an All-Stars North versus South. I just wondered what you thought of it all.
I thought, which team will we be in? Are we North or South? I don't know. Maybe you know better than me. But that was the talk in our training ground. Which team would we be part of? And then obviously it's like who's going to get in, and all that conversation goes on. But I personally think there's enough games that we play, and with how scheduling has become in our domestic league with the after effects of COVID and World Cups in the middle of the season, etc. There's enough football to be focused on. Thanks, Kirsty.
Hi, Steve.
Hey, all right.
Just wanted to check with you any injuries, and also are you tempted to make changes after the Bournemouth game?
Well, yeah, that's the ongoing role of a football manager, isn't it? Trying to find the right plan, and inclusive of picking the right team to go and win the next game. So we obviously have good options now. We have a lot of players that we can choose from, strength and depth, and that's the normal decision-making process that you have to go through. So there's the temptation of making changes, the temptation of keeping going with certain things, and probably everything else in between them two things. So let's see. So, injury-wise, Aurier did come back into training, but he's had a bit of a setback. Nothing too major, but was just setting back a day or two. Apart from that, we are whereas we were.
You mentioned Mitrovic before. I think 6 goals he's got now this season.
Yeah, it's a good return.
Against you last year. How do you stop him?
Well, yeah. Obviously, you try and analyse, and you try and recognise what are his strengths, and maybe what's the best way of keeping him quiet. And the reality is, you come up against good strikers, if you like, as we're talking about strikers at the moment in most of the games that you played. In the last few games we've played against Haaland and Kane, and obviously Solanke as well. So you always come up against a really good striker. Yeah, Mitrovic has obviously, as I said before, carried on with his form from last season. But we've got to make sure that we respect that, recognise it, but at the same time back ourselves to get the right plan and to deal with it. Thanks, Dave.
Go to the back over there, yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good to you. Just a quick follow-up one from me. So, of course, it was announced Serge Aurier was announced subject to approval. Is there any update on that?
Yeah, it's close. He's actually in and around now, the training ground. So obviously he's not available to play on the weekend because we've only just seen him. But it's close now to being available. So it took a little bit longer than maybe we would have hoped in terms of the visa and availability from that. But we're nearly there.
What do you see his role being in this side? How will he fit into your plans?
Well, obviously he's quite a versatile player in terms of playing right back, wing back, and even right centre back. He has Premier League and big game experience, both on international stage as well as the domestic stage. So we talked. It wouldn't be a press conference without talking about a new sign. I thought we left that alone. I've just keep saying the same thing I've done for the last few months. With Serge, obviously it gives competition as well for them positions that I just said about, because we did need an extra body in certain positions. So obviously it's been unique what we've done this summer in terms of the amount of signings, and the pros and cons of that are obvious. But we're embracing it. We're enjoying the challenge, and as always, trying to get ready for the next game.
Just finally, the Premier League 25-man squad was announced, and there was no space for like Taylor or Caffrey. Just wanted a quick word from you on why they were.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's always disappointing when you have to leave lads out, but we've been very clear with everybody, and I like to think that I'm always up front with players on why we make decisions and where they stand. So not as disappointing as it may be, it's not too much of a surprise internally because of the way we try our best to communicate with players. But there's always a line, isn't there? And there's a 25-man, and unfortunately some guys fall on the other side of it, and that's just where we're at with it. Thank you. You too.
Right. If the camera's off now, please. Thank you.